Festival or in One, Urumba South Council area will be our focus. Please stay tuned for details coming right after the hard news. My name is Maureen Stone Enojoke. And before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has received in audience the chairperson of the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, MAN, Southeast, covering Anambra, Enugu, and Ebonyi states, Lady Ada Chukwudozie. Governor Soludo, while receiving Lady Ada Chukwudozie on a first official visit at the Government House, Oka, congratulated her for the elevation and inauguration and expressed hope of effective collaboration between MAN and Anambra State governments towards improving productivity and development at large. Government House correspondent Valentine Badola reports.
While stating that manufacturers are critical stakeholders of any developing society, Governor Soludo promised a conducive environment that will attract and encourage foreign and local investors. Governor Soludo, who emphasized the need to patronize made in Anambra products, expressed readiness of the state government to partner any investor to promote wealth and job creation for Anambra. He expressed optimism that Lady Ada will serve the people well, giving her knowledge and wealth of experience in the manufacturing industry over the years. Lady Ada Chukwudozie, in an interview, said that Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is excited to have Professor Chukwuma Soludo leading Anambra State at this time, expressing hope of a better Anambra in the near future. Lady Ada assured that man will synergize with the policies of the state government in line with their key vision, which is to be the key drivers of industrialization and sustainable economic development. While pointing out that public sector cannot develop the state alone, she noted that the organized private sector must get fully involved, but on a friendly environment to boost development through creation of jobs and wealth.
All I am here to do is to deepen relationships with all the economic actors, with government, and with the general public on issues that has to do with manufacturers. I need to understand where government stands, understand the policies that they have formulated, then bring it back and break it down in a language that my fellow manufacturers will understand.
The Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Ernest Ezajuyi, was present during the meeting, while Mr. Daniel Chukwudozie was among Lady Ada Chukwudozie's entourage. From the Government House, Oka, Valentine Badola reporting for ABS News.
Wife of the Governor of Anambra State, Mrs. Nonye Soludo, has asked parents to instill in the children a sense of moral standards by keeping them in touch with the basics of culture and traditions. Speaking in Oka, Mrs. Soludo observed that cultural and traditional values shape how the children respond to their environments, pointing out that a child who received right orientation in cultural values will prioritize hard work over crimes. The details.
Speaking in Oka, Mrs. Soludo observed that cultural and traditional values shape how children respond to their environments, pointing out that a child who received right orientation in cultural values will prioritize hard work over crimes. The governor's wife further stated that each Anambra child is entitled to vast social benefits, including child-friendly policies that have been initiated by Governor Chukwuma Soludo's administration. Mrs. Soludo, while emphasizing the importance of teaching the younger generation the essence of culture and traditional behavioral philosophies, urged parents to teach their children and words to communicate with them in Igbo language. Mrs. Soludo, while pledging to continue to champion the campaign to better the lives of all Anambra children, explained that she has a huge responsibility to help each child succeed in the midst of many obstacles standing between them and their future. The Anambra governor's wife also stated that stakeholders, families, schools, churches, and the general society must understand the imperative of the crusade and contribute towards achieving desired aims.
Anambra State has banned the wearing of mini-length uniforms in schools across the state. The Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chuma Ude, announced this during an interactive meeting with Education Secretaries of Public and Mission Schools held at the Asubeb Hall, Oka. We have the details.
The commissioner condemned the growing trend of putting on mini-length uniforms in schools, saying it goes against the acceptable dress code for schools in the state. According to the commissioner, a student should look smart, well-groomed, project positive disposition, and not be indecently dressed for school. She added that the acceptable length for uniforms in the state remains knee length and not above the knee, as is fast becoming the norm. The commissioner charged the educational secretaries to ensure schools comply with the directive to salvage the future of Umuakwukwo Anambra. She reminded them that they are the foundation that control the formative years of the children and should infuse the right morals and discipline in students so they grow to be rational human beings by showing them there is more to life, stressing that failure at this stage could adversely affect their future.
Anambra State government has concluded integrity testing on market stalls in Ochanja Central Market, Onitsha. Correspondent Ejika Bana reports that the State Material Testing Laboratory conducted the verification on buildings sealed by the state in the markets. The report.
A joint government task force comprising the Ministry of Trade and Commerce and Anambra State Fiscal Planning Board, after visiting the market 2 months ago, commissioned the State Materials Testing Laboratory to carry out integrity tests on structures there, following complaints of casualties resulting from the partial collapse of some of the buildings. Presenting the report of the testing at ANSPPB headquarters, Amobia, the executive chairman of the lab, Mr. Ebosie Ezoke, explained that the reports contain sketches, blocks, columns, beams, and other aspects of the buildings to help identify the blocks that passed the test or otherwise, and warned market unions that there are sanctions for non-compliance with the government laboratory verification.
We were able to cover up all the blocks. It is important to note that generally we did receive cooperation from the union authorities, but there were instances of non-compliance. We have also tried to make our recommendations, because without having facilities tested, it is difficult to actually determine the potential for use, particularly for the public. So it is indeed a pleasure for us. And on this note, I would say we have produced 4 copies of the report.
The Commissioner for Trade and Commerce, Mr. Obin Nangona, noted that when they visited the market for on-the-spot assessment, the illegalities were observed, which prompted the setting up of the committee on the directive of the State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, noting that some of the structures were built before the advent of the present administration, leading to the market master plan being bastardized. While stating that the exercise will be extended to other markets in the state, Commissioner Ngonande said the report will be presented to the governor and the decision will be taken on the matter, stressing, however, that even if those buildings are going to stay, a significant part of them will be reviewed.
What we are doing here today is very, very significant, and we will intend to visit all the markets in Anambra State and carry out such testings on the structural defense and make recommendations on the improvement and stabilization of those markets. So this is just the beginning of what we are doing, and getting a lot of cooperation from the fiscal plan. They are always available to assist the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in carrying out this work. So we thank Mr. Governor for the opportunity, for his commitments towards making Anambra State livable and prosperous state.
Also speaking, the chairman of ANSPPB, Barrister Chike Maduekwe, expressed satisfaction that the report of the lab was conducted in a record time to aid government in its avowed duty of protecting life and property, while announcing that the board will commence Operation Show Your Permit from 1st October 2022, targeted at people who built structures in the past 5 years. Barrister Maduekwe lamented that the existence of so many markets in the state does not really translate to revenue due to various degrees of illegalities.
We thank Material Testing for the thorough job they have done, and we thank God the law has said that we must work together with them. It's in the amendment of the law of this board. So that's what we are going to do. And we seek your cooperation, the people in the markets. At the end of the day, you will find out that all these things have been put in place to ensure that you do your business, prosper, from generation to generation, you hand over to your children.
The chairman of Ochende Central Market, Bonaventure Moore, assured that they will continue to comply with government directives. Ejike Abana, ABS News.
In a bid to reduce the high rate of out-of-school adolescent girls, the federal government, in collaboration with UNICEF, has organized a two-day meeting titled Critic of the Re-Entry Guidelines for Adolescent Girls. Correspondent Queen Aniwogo reports that the meeting held in Awka, Anambra State capital attracted educationists from the 9 states of the South, Southeast and officials of UNICEF. Her report is taken from here.
During day one of the workshop, one of the resource persons, Dr. Chinedu Osuji, presented an overview of the analysis of the federal government documents conducted in 9 states, where he noted the high rate of adolescent girls who are out of school as a result of pregnancy. Dr. Suji said that the re-entry guidelines for adolescent girls is a policy of the federal government propagated by the Federal Ministry of Education, funded by UNICEF, to ensure that pregnant adolescent girls after giving birth are encouraged to continue their education. The director, Career Counseling and Service Center, Abuja, Professor Patricia Ojia, who spoke on the role of school support system in the implementation of the re-entry guidelines, role of guidance and counselors, called on government to enforce the employment of guidelines and counselors in all schools to help give sex education to school children. In day 2 of the workshop, the group went on a courtesy visit to the traditional ruler of Awka, Obi Gibson Mosu, and his council chiefs. In his remarks, one of the members of this team, Mr. Ayotunde Omotomi, said that Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children globally as a result of pregnancy in adolescent girls. While noticing that education is the bedrock of any nation, Mr. Omotomi asked the traditional ruler and his council of chiefs to propagate the need for the girl child after giving birth should be encouraged to continue her education.
Came up with this initiative that the girls that are pregnant should not be denied access to education. As soon as they are giving birth, they should be encouraged to go back. As we all know that education is the bedrock of the development of any nation, and it promotes critical thinking of any individual. It's a tool for a positive change. And thank God, the UNICEF key into this said, I'm going to support the program. That is why we are here.
Responding, the traditional ruler of Awka, Obi Gibson Mosu, recalled his exploits in the field of education, described the objectives of the workshop as a noble one, and pledged his support to get the girl child back to school.
What I can do for you vis-a-vis putting my hands firmly on guiding you to achieve your objective. The objective you have is a noble one, and I support it, and I will help you fight for it tooth and nail. Therefore, I will say once more, welcome.
Contributing, the palace speaker, Chief Mweze Okoli, faulted the federal government's stance on education in Nigeria, citing the prolonged ASU strike, and called on federal governments to do everything possible to secure out-of-school children who are not pregnant. In an interview, the Director Administration and Supply, Enugu State, Mr.
So many educated persons.
Dr. Uche Okeke, representing Asube, and Mrs. Mercy Francis Opong from Akwa Ibom State, mentioned the various measures the state government are employing to deal with the problem of adolescent girls, stressing that the importance of education cannot be overemphasized.
That's to look at the document, which is designed by Federal Ministry of Education in collaboration with UNICEF on the re-entering of girls, adolescent girls, into the schools, adolescent girls that got pregnant on their way, maybe those that got pregnant who are underaged, how we should get them back to school, because we know that education is the bedrock, so that they will not be cheated in the society or left out in the society. That's the objective of the exercise.
Group work, presentation, question and answer sessions climaxed the event.
And that does it on the hard news for now. We shall be bringing to you Inside the News right after this break. Stay with us. This is Inside the News, and we're so glad to have you join us on Inside the News. On a community in Orumba South Council area recently rolled out the drums to celebrate the 2022 New Yam Festival. Our correspondent, Justice Onyemobi, captured the mood of the event for Inside the News and brings the details.
One of the major festivities that make Igbo tradition rich is New Yam Festival. To this end, every community in Igbo land celebrates New Yams to appreciate God for bountiful harvest. One community in Orumba South Council area is one of such communities who has celebrated 2022 New Yam Festival. At the appointed time, the President General of the town alongside other stakeholders performed the official cutting of yam. The President General used the opportunity to thank God for the gift of life and for his numerous blessings upon the community.
Cornelius. I'm the President General of a Patriotic Union in Orumba South Local Government Area of Anambra State. It's a day set aside by the people of Pone to rejoice and thank God for the farming season. So it's a day that climaxes our farming season, whereby we harvest our yams, which are cultivated during the year. So we use the opportunity to thank God. People from one community use the opportunity to come back to the town for this special occasion. So that's what we do, rejoice and thank God for a successful farming year. Our community is one united community. But for those that are not here today, maybe because of one engagement or the other, I will just tell them that they missed. Today has been a very wonderful day. You can see how happy our people are. Those that came all the way from Lagos, from Port Harcourt, from even Kaduna to come and grace this occasion. They are so happy. So for those that are not here today, they really missed. And I hope they will be around for that of next year, because that of next year, we promise that it will be by far better than what we have today.
As usual, this year's event was an avenue to appreciate hard work and empower some individuals in the community after their display of farm produce. Other side attractions at the event were presentation of kola nuts by various women groups, recitation of Igbo proverbs by some individuals, and cultural display.
Our village, if you are ready, let us know.
Other members of One Town Union Executive bared their minds on the importance of New Yam Festival.
I will wholeheartedly tell you that today is a day we have been longing for. Advising the youth, instead of some of them to engage in taking of psychoactive substances, social vices, among other moral decadence and juvenile delinquencies, it's better for them to engage in themselves with agriculture. Today in our country, we cannot do without agriculture. You can't do without agriculture because when you produce it, people will buy it because we consume food, among other things, every day. So I will advise them, instead of them to avoid something of this nature, which you know that without agriculture, there will be no celebration or New Year festival. But let all of us join hands together to promote this beautiful culture of ours.
It is an event within which we all One indigenes from far and wide, those of us abroad, those of us within, we come join together and enjoy the fruit of our labor. Now, it is equally an event within which we make some contributions to the development of the town. Everybody has to contribute, those at home, those abroad, whatever you have for the growth and development of the town, you would make such contribution.
It continues getting better by the day. I think one good thing this administration have done about it is to actually put it forward and project it as a festivity that would not only create entertainment for the town, unity for the town, but also empower the youths and let them know the importance of agriculture, farming. You know, with the competition that just happened today, you can see that so many people never even knew that people can make so much from farming in One town. So we keep seeing more people going into farming every day and boost in agriculture.
We thank God. We are celebrating life, we are celebrating the New Year festival, and we thank God for keeping us stay today. This is the highest festival we are holding in our town. So we thank God for that. We are begging Him to help us reach next year, so that next year on will be better than this.
It's a wonderful day for us. God being merciful. The weather was clement. Rain, though we are in the rainy season, we do not have any atom of rain. So God, in His own infinite mercy, answered all our prayers and made it a successful. All the indigenous of the town, both in diaspora and at home, that traveled from distant places to be here, all of them arrived safely, and I'm believing that all of them will go. So it's a thing of joy.
All the 4 villages that make up One community were conspicuously present at the event.
I make a good old village, led by Honorable High Chief Oliver Okafor.
Thank you so very much, Justice Onyemobi, for that beautiful coverage. Remember, you can follow news and programs on ABS from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television. Okay? Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV and log on to our website www.absradiotv.com. And that does it on Insider News for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you Sunday next. My name is Maureen Stone in Joke Kachifo.
big day ahead.